Hey guys, it's Misty Eyez, and I'm here with an Ask Misty from Michael. Dear Misty, my name is Michael and I'm 20 years old, and I've been a loyal subscriber of yours since I was 12 or 13. You have been a huge inspiration to me, and now in my current situation, my best friend forever, Kevin, just came out as trans recently. Coming from a trans perspective, how can I be as supportive as possible? Kevin, this is a great question, and there are many ways you can be a great ally to your trans friend. The first thing I would say is never out them. It's nobody in the world's business that they're trans except for theirs. Don't ever tell your friends, don't ever tell your coworkers, don't ever tell strangers like, oh yeah, she used to be a man. Let her be the one to decide to spill her tea. It's her story to tell, it's her secret to tell, not yours. And as a loyal and dedicated friend, you will keep her silence. Unfortunately, gay boys and, gay boys especially, but the gay kids are notorious for outing trans people. Like, we go to the water park and people are checking out our beautiful friend and they're like, oh, you know she's a man, right? That's how trans women get killed. Men checking out trans women thinking they're beautiful and then publicly finding out that they're not cis women, and then they're embarrassed because all their friends know they were hot for this girl, and then they're embarrassed. And don't be trying to get people killed. As a good friend, you are not going to try to get her killed. So do not be outing her. Keep her story secret. I don't care if people stare at her. And it's funny because a lot of times people stare at you because you're beautiful or you stand out or because you have a presence. They don't even know your real tea. Because a lot of times we're like, oh God, people know. But it doesn't mean they know. It's like, oh, I'm really tall and people think I'm a supermodel or whatever. That happens a lot. So keep her secret and get her back. Another way you can be a good ally to your trans friend is understand terminology. For example, I hate it when people say, when did you become a woman? I never became a woman. I just stopped pretending to be a man. My whole life I lived a lie. My whole life I lived a pretend story. I tried to be butch. I tried to be masculine. I tried to be this persona for my family and my church and my friends. And I just stopped pretending and I became who and what I truly am. And when this does come up and somebody says, oh, she was born a man. No, bitch, she was born a trans woman, or she was born a woman. Her doctor assigned her male at birth, but that's not her story. That's not her reality. So keep up on your terminology. Get learned on words. What does cis mean? A cis woman is a woman whose doctor signed her female at birth and her brain matches. A trans person, the doctor signed male at birth and her brain does not match. It is across or over from the assigned sex at birth. Therefore it is trans, which is Latin for over. Cis is Latin for matching. You obviously know your friend Kevin is now no longer Kevin, and you know their preferred pronouns, but help correct family members, help correct friends. Since you're currently close to this person, when they're in public, other people might refer to them as a he. Correct them. No, she. You don't have to do it loud. You don't have to do it obvious. You don't have to create a scene. But if their mom's on the phone, they're like, oh, tell him happy birthday. I'll tell her happy birthday, no problem. Just correct them so it's constantly putting that positive image into the family and relatives' minds and or ears. That's not hard to do. It will take a little bit of courage. And never falter on your pronouns. Even if you're in a room full of, like, let's say Kevin used to play on the basketball team and all the basketball players call him he. Don't falter. As an ally and a friend, be like, oh yeah, no, I was hanging out with her yesterday. You mean he? And you're like, no, I mean her. Yeah, I called her. Yeah, she's going to the mall with me. Yeah, she. Don't falter. You have her back now. She's your friend and you're her ally. The most important thing about an ally is not somebody that secretly watches. An ally is somebody that stands up. An ally is somebody that speaks up against bullies. They're standing up for what is right. And that's the biggest thing you're gonna have to do. Pronouns are super, super important and super painful. It's funny because my husband, my fiance, whenever I'm on the phone with a bill collector or whatever, insurance company, and they're like, is Misty there? Because my legal name is Misty. Yes, this is Misty. Oh, excuse me, sir. Can I talk to you? I'm like, ma'am. My husband laughs. He thinks it's so funny. But pronouns are extremely painful if used incorrectly and improperly. Also, be a listening ear. Being a trans person is the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life. It is not easy. There's many challenges and many hurdles and many obstacles, like random swords, come into your face. My husband would like a little on-screen time. Hi, baby.
What are you doing?
Recording.
You better clean all this up.
You better get on my video. Ooh! I got him the, what's it called? I forgot. The Jon Snow, long claw. The long claw sword. Baby.
Talking too loud.
No. But being a trans person is the hardest, most difficult, scariest thing I could do. And my partner has been a great ally for me because they are there to listen to my tears, listen to my pain, listen to my, it was a hard day today. Or, for example, I drove Uber on Friday and the only person that called me he and sir randomly was the only person that tipped me cash. So, I come home like, somebody called me sir today. It was so funny because he was like, he was in my cab or my car and he was like, oh, thank you, Poppy. Thank you, Poppy. And I was like, but being a trans person is painful. Physically painful, emotionally painful, and spiritually painful. Be a listening ear and a leaning shoulder for them to cry on. That is very important. One thing I'm going to ask you not to do, and I remember when I first came out of the closet as a gay man, a lot of my friends would go to the mall with me or whatever and be like, I think he's gay. I think he's gay. Look, there's a gay man. Don't do the, look, there's a trans person game. It's just not a game you should play. Don't point out other people. Don't make assumptions. Don't be like, oh, she might be trans because she's tall. As a trans person who's gender dysphoric, most of us have a type of body dysmorphia, meaning we know this isn't the way it's supposed to be. Have you seen the new Jumanji? Well, in the new Jumanji, there's a beautiful girl trapped in big old Jack Black's body. For example, many trans people are, wait a minute, I'm stuck in an overweight middle-aged man's body, but I'm a beautiful girl inside. And as a person that's suffering from this body dysmorphia and this gender dysphoria, be supportive of them and don't point out other girls. Now, maybe you can point out other girls like, oh, look, that woman has a mustache, when you know she's a cis woman. Or one thing that I'm self-conscious about is I have a receding hairline and I'm always looking for cis women that have this. I know there's cis women that are way taller than me. I've seen a cis woman that's 6'7". I've seen a cis woman that's 6'6". I know cis women have big feet, otherwise they wouldn't make shoes that fit me. And I know these, but I look for things like, oh look, whew, she got worse hair than me. I like to compare. As a woman, I think that is natural. I know she's your friend, but let her tell you the things that are going on in her life. As a trans person, many of the obstacles will include surgeries and physical changes. She's probably going to want to talk about them to you. Listen, but don't ask questions. And when other people or strangers are like, oh, well, does she still have a dick? That's none of their fucking business. Are you her sex partner or are you her doctor? Those are the only two people that need to know what's happening downstairs. Legit, no. Just don't answer those questions. And a lot of people think, oh, because we're friends, it's okay. No, bitch. It's not okay. It's nobody's business. Another thing is you cannot assume her sexual orientation. What you're attracted to has nothing to do with who you are or your gender identity. Your gender identity is in your brain. Your assigned sex at birth is in your pants. Your sexual orientation is in your heart. And your gender expression is the way you wear your clothing. There are lesbian trans women. There are straight trans women. Just because you're trans woman doesn't mean you're straight. I would say maybe a lot of trans women are straight, but there's a shit ton of lesbian trans women I've recently found out. Like, whoa, I had no idea. You cannot assume somebody's attracted to somebody just because they're trans. Another annoying question is when somebody asks what your real name is. Bitch, my real name is Misty. That is my name. Well, legally, it is my name now. But I used Misty for 15 years before I had it legally changed. And a lot of people are like, oh yeah, but what's your real name? But what's your real name? It's Misty. That is me. I am real. And I hate it when people say, I'm a real girl. I'm like, you don't think I'm real? I'm real. Another thing is, there's no right or wrong way to transition. Everyone's story is different. So you say you're a loyal viewer of mine. I do things a lot differently than other trans people. I recently went to a meeting where there was probably 8 trans women, 4 of which got their vaginoplasty or their bottom surgery way before they did anything else. And some girls had full breast implants and face work before they did that. And we're all on a different journey from, when I talk about this, I say we're all from Fort Lauderdale going to Miami, and there's many ways to get there. You can take 95, you can take US 1, you can take Dixie, you can take, and if you want to start by getting your vaginoplasty, get it. If you want to start with getting facial feminization, get it. If you want to start with laser hair removal, get it. Whatever you need to do to feel most comfortable in your own skin, do it. But just because it's right for me doesn't mean it's right for you. And what's right for you probably isn't right for me. And it's very expensive to transition. Very. And unfortunately, trans people are the most underemployed population in the world. Meaning, I don't want my customers to become uncomfortable if this he, she, man thing walks up. Bitch. So, and I know several trans women that have applied for jobs with amazing resumes, and they basically, I get lipstick everywhere. They basically get the job over the phone, and then when they show up, they're like, oh, the job's been filled, thank you. Ugh, discrimination sucks. And in closing, I'm gonna say support all gender bathrooms. I went to FIU recently, and they had a male, female, handicapped children sign above the door, and I thought it was a locked one-door bathroom, and I saw a girl walk in, and I was waiting, and then 2 guys came out, and I'm like, oh. So I walked in, and bam, there was a whole bunch of urinals. Okay, so I just used this bathroom for women, men, handicapped, and infants. Oh, sorry, Diva.
Thank you.
Progressive. This is very Ally McBeal. Isn't it? Do you know what Ally McBeal is?
No.
So I just found out that FIU campuses, all of them, have gender-neutral bathrooms as of 2010. What? That's pretty intense. Hashtag amazing. Do I have a friend coming to visit me? Do I? Oh, hi.
I thought that was the most amazing, coolest thing. I was like, this is real life Ally McBeal. I think on Ally McBeal they had men and women in the same bathroom. Legit, you're going into the bathroom and closing the door of your stall. But randomly in this bathroom, I walked by a couple closed doors, a man standing up peeing with the door open, which men have done for years. And then I sat down in a stall a little way down and closed my door. But most important, I know I already said it, but the best thing you could do is be there for your friend, help them, hold their hand, and listen. It's not easy doing what they're doing. It's going to get harder. It's going to get more challenging. And it's definitely not going to get easier for a long time. And some trans people want to give up. And encourage them not to. Cis people don't randomly go around thinking, I might be trans. They'd be like straight guys walking around thinking, I wish I could suck a dick. Like, that's just not a thought they do. If you're having trans thoughts, you are trans. And if you finally get the courage to do it, help your friend keep the courage to do it. Because sometimes it gets difficult, it gets expensive, it gets challenging. Be there for them. Anyways, that was Misty Eyez with an Ask Misty. Loving you is easy.